First of all, I don't think that he would, if he just went to the vet, I don't think that he would have gotten fleas and flea dirt within 48 hours.
I feel like that's the perfect amount of time.
I don't think so.
How long do you think it would take? Because he had fleas one time when we moved to Florida in 2016?
Yeah.
What do you know? We're back in Florida.
I know. No, I think it's I saw a little, I don't know if it's a bug, if it was a flea, but we saw something moving on Benji this morning. So we gave him a flea bath just to be safe, and
washed all the sheets, vacuumed all the floors, washed all of his blankets.
Yeah.
All at like 7 a.m.
But I think he's fine. But he has just like a little something on his ear. But I think it's just his ears being, because how often do you really clean the ears, like around the outside, because you don't want to get them wet?
Yeah. Oh, that's true too. I don't know. We'll know here in 24 hours. We'll
keep an eye on everything. And
please, Lord, no.
Yeah. So we'll be good. Did you try to match me today?
I did.
Did you feel you couldn't be underdressed?
Yes.
You didn't want to feel how I feel 90% of the time, where you're dressed and I'm in a like basketball
pretty much
attire.
Because I had on this lovely sweater, super comfortable, and then you walk out and I go, I can't wear this.
Every now and then I have to remind you that I can clean up.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So I got that Zoom meeting today.
You do?
Yeah, an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Yeah. So, but it's going to be just super chill.
And what exactly is happening on it?
Just marinating with some potential opportunities. So I'm just chatting with some people.
Trying to look good.
Wheeling and dealing. Got to make a good impression till they get to know me.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to really find my, my identity, really, because I've got such a laid back, kind of athletic clothing, kind of not really dressed up vibe on social.
Yeah.
But then when I go to certain meetings, I want to go, oh, that's just kind of like a part of me, but I can dress up and be professional at times.
That's right.
So I just felt, and I'm just feeling good in general. Like I accomplished a lot this morning, woke up, fasted all the way until 1:30.
Dang.
Worked out. We did this whole entire like cleaning of the place, filmed some content, got some work done, took a shower, shaved, then took a shower, put on some like a nice shirt. So I feel like, and it's only
this shirt on
2.
You.
Huh?
I like the shirt on you. The style, it looks really soft and sharp.
It is soft, yeah.
Fits you nicely.
And it fits nice too. And I've been about 5 weeks in now to a little more of a balanced diet.
Describe.
So like on Sunday, we ordered Domino's. Have not had Domino's in over a year.
What did you order?
Philly cheesesteak, thin crust is the best. But now that I'm at my goal weight, I just ate Sunday and I was perfect Monday.
Yep.
So I just kind of get on the scale. So it's just like, oh, you eat bad one day, then you're perfect the next.
Right.
And then you're ready to go. So, even today, I mean, it's 2:00. I've only had a piece of toast and 2 hard-boiled eggs. So I'm saving up to have some like nice dinner tonight.
Yeah.
But it's easier to manage. I needed to go crazy for 8 months and be so strict because I just wanted that 40 pounds off me. And now I just kind of go day to day. If I do 2 days eating bad, I do 2 days eating clean.
Yeah.
It's just so much simpler that way.
Is it balance?
Well, I was always trying to balance without getting to the goal first.
Right.
So I think once you get to your goal, and then I've been wanting to work out, but that's the only bad part is that I was setting up this video I was shooting, and I was in the studio here, and I tripped. Well, you heard it. You laughed.
No.
Thanks for the support.
I'm sorry, honey.
Bent one of the lights, but when I fell back, my initial reaction when you're falling backwards, not where you're tripping backwards.
It was
you
a
fell.
Legit fall.
You're going to hit hard. So I think when I felt myself falling back, I pushed to fall back because I wanted to smack my back against the wall because I felt like smacking it against the wall will be better than me falling back and hitting my head.
Yeah.
So I pushed myself even faster, not realizing the windowsill ledge was right there. So it caught the corner, and at first I thought, oh, it's just a bruise. But this has been 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So I think I don't think I cracked a rib, but
bruised it.
It's pretty bruised, but it feels better in a relaxed setting. So there's times I'll go through the day for 4 or 5 hours, don't feel pain. But then like last night, it woke me up a bunch of times just because it was so painful, but now I'm fine. So there's something that needs to heal, but it's been 2 weeks. But even if it is a bruised rib or a cracked rib, there's nothing anyone can do.
Right.
So I'm not going to waste my time and go to a doctor.
Yeah, give it another week, see if it's still affecting you. But isn't it wild when you have a fall? In my experience anyway, I feel like the whole world stops. And when you're falling, so much is going through your head because you're like, how do I break this fall so I don't hurt myself? Because there was one time when we were staying at my parents' Airbnb in Reunion when they first moved here. And they stayed in this 2-story, house, and I had Benji in my arms one day, and I was walking down, and what do you know? I tripped, and I went flying. The dog went flying. Like I felt
he rolled.
He rolled down the little steps, and I literally was crying after because I felt so bad. But he just got up, shook it off, and kept walking, and he was fine. And thank goodness those stairs, I think, were carpeted. Mm-hmm. So maybe it made it a little bit.
They were carpeted. Right? How do you forget that they were carpeted?
Not a great Airbnb, but
it needed tender love and care.
It did. But back then, remember we were looking at the price of it, and it was what, maybe 400,000. Now
$398.
$398.
Not 700.
Oh, so that's crazy market.
Yeah, but not going to complain that we waited a year. We just didn't know.
Of course.
And that's why I like to share everything that we learn, because here I am, 30 some years old, and had no idea of the different types of creative options you could do with a mortgage. I was always told, like, if you're self-employed, you need 2 years worth of that job. Yeah. So if you become a hairstylist, you need 2 years of hairstyling to prove if you're self-employed. Right. And maybe if you get hired as an employee, that's different. But we've always been self-employed or a business owner. So I was always confused. And I even had someone tell me before, when your business pays you a salary, that's the salary they go off of. But there's just so many more creative ways that it can be done. So we were under the impression that we couldn't use our business to help because that's what we wanted to do. Yeah. We had no idea. So, and then someone said too, well, if you're going to try to use days income, they were like, well, you don't work on days, so we can't use that. And I was like, so it was like this whole weird thing. So we kind of missed it through lack of information a year prior, because there were 3 homes, that one for $398. There was another one for $189, and there's another one for $319. All 12 months later are $200,000 to $300,000 more. Just like that. I know. And interest rates were 2.75 back then. So we could have gotten into any of those 3 homes for probably less than $2,000 a month for 30 years, and they'd be already having $300,000 equity. But we learned later, and luckily we learned in time, because now we were able to secure a home. Yeah. And we're going to be moving in maybe, this sounds crazy, maybe June. Maybe June. We'll see. They told us possibly June. Again, with new builds, you never know what could happen last minute, but they have the windows in, they have the roof, the shingles too. The shingles. So I think those are the main pieces you really got to focus on. That were delayed. Yes. The trusses. Yes. And the windows are the issue, but we have those. Yeah. So now it's just. We drove by yesterday, and they are coming along. Yeah. I'm really excited. I think we should talk to the agent and do one walkthrough. Yes. But when is a good time to do that? Because right now there's no drywall. So maybe wait another month. Yeah, might as well. Because when we were there yesterday, they were actually working on it. And it was probably, like 5 p.m.? Maybe 6? And there were like 6, 7 guys on it. Yeah. Like just moving. And the whole allotment, when we first looked at it, there was a bunch of dirt still. There was a bunch of homes that just had the cement block. Mm-hmm. But by the time we move in, it's going to be done. Like all the workers are going to be out. It's going to be ready to go. Well, and it's really interesting too, because right across from where we're moving is where they had the sales office. And next to the sales office, it was a parking lot.
But they told us at the very end, when they're getting completely done with this neighborhood, that they're going to put one more house in that parking lot, and they're going to make the sales office, they'll sell
Available.
yeah. And so when we saw the parking lot, it was all dirt.
Yep.
So I'm
So
like,
they ripped
wow.
it out, and but yeah, the agent says things are looking good. You might be looking at a June close,
We'll see,
and
baby.
so we're fine either way. I mean, I was just trying to get lucky, roll the dice, and land on August 1st so that we don't have any overlap of rent and mortgage. But if
Hey.
it's like a month and a half, it is what it is.
We'll see what we can do. But can you believe it's already May? I feel like when we first got the house that it was so far away we'd be moving in, and it is now almost summer. Like, it's May.
I know.
Did it not go really fast?
It just doesn't feel like there's 12 months anymore. It feels like there's about 6.
I mean, we will be having Halloween decorations before you know it. My birthday will be here in a
I don't want to
snap.
rush the summer. I'm ready to bake.
Bake, get some
Oh,
tan.
it's been so hot here.
It's been very warm. Like this past week. But then last week it was really cool. And that's why I like Florida, because it kind of...
And it rains a little bit. The other day, I was like, it was so hot. And I was walking, and my back was hurting. And I was like, I just want to like sit and just sweat and relax. And I just went and sat in our car.
Oh, God.
I was drenched. It had to be 105 degrees in that car.
Oh,
And I was just drenched. It felt so
Where
good.
would you say all that sweat went?
Into my clothes.
Not the seats
No.
that I sit on?
The seats aren't cloth, though. The seats are,
That's true.
I don't know if
That's
they're
true.
leather or whatever they are.
Did
but
you
they're
feel
not
good?
cloth.
It was like your own sauna.
Yeah.
It was free.
It's what?
It was free. You didn't
Yep.
have to go to a gym. You didn't
Nope.
have to pay any fees.
And it was just perfectly parked, just in the sun, just baking and just heated up. My phone got so hot because I was watching like TikTok while doing it.
Oh, cool.
And did you ever have your phone where it shuts off because the temperature is too hot?
Yes.
Sometimes that happens in the sauna.
That happens a lot to me, honestly, in Florida when I'm outside for a long, lengthy period of time. My phone will go dimmer. Does that happen to you? And then it gets so hot and I go, I
you
need
have to keep it in the shade. Yeah.
Even when I keep it in the shade. That's so crazy. You know what I heard on TikTok? So you're familiar, of course, with romantic comedies, yes?
I mean, I know of
Freddie
them. I don't watch
Smith
many.
knows of a rom-com.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like every single year I'm always chatting with my girlfriends and we're like, where are the rom-coms? We need more rom-coms. We grew up on them in the 90s, early 2000s. They were more popular. Does that sound right to you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So-
10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it was
The
endless.
any McConaughey film.
Yes. Oh my gosh. She How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, that's
That was
great.
a big one.
Yeah.
So we were kind of bred on these incredible rom-coms. They were so wonderful. Well, there is a new one on the way, and it's with rom-com OGs George Clooney and the queen herself, Julia Roberts. And they're starring in a film. It's called Ticket to Paradise. And but listen.
That's perfect.
I know. Of course it is. But people said that Julia Roberts made a comment how she has been waiting for a rom-com script like this since the 90s. So in the 90s, she's doing My Best Friend's Wedding. She's doing Notting Hill. George Clooney, his last rom-com was One Fine Day with Michelle Pfeiffer. And that was like late 90s, maybe 96. So neither one of them have really dabbled in that space. Now, of course, they went on, did their own things in their careers, but we love a good rom-com. And Julia Roberts literally said, I wasn't avoiding it. I was just waiting for the perfect script.
Yeah.
And this happens to be it. So I'm like, that is very interesting.
That'll be fun.
So I looked it up because I go, well, first, like, what is it about?
Yeah.
And then also...
Well, let me try to guess. Ticket to Paradise.
Yes.
Has to have a double meaning. So I think the ticket to paradise, the double meaning underneath whatever the meaning is like punching your ticket of love into the paradise of like love and finding somebody. But the ticket to paradise is they meet on an airplane and they're going to some paradise island and they have to be sitting next to each other on the plane.
That was an excellent guess, but not correct.
Nothing about it was correct?
No.
They win a lottery ticket.
They are flying and traveling, but this is the log line.
Oh.
A divorced couple that teams up and travels to Bali to stop their daughter from making the same mistake they think they made 25 years ago.
Oh, so much better.
And so I'm like, well, if this is the script of a lifetime, what's this guy done? And the screenplay was done by a complete unknown. This was his first thing.
Really?
And I go, how does that happen? What position is this? I think he produced a couple things, but who did he know? Or maybe it was just the best screenplay and he's been sitting on it for 10 years. Shelved it or something.
I think it's just it's all luck. I mean,
100%.
there's even people that, when you hear that Ryan Reynolds, it took him 10 years to get Deadpool made. I'm like, you're Ryan Reynolds. What do you mean? Like, how can't you get a film made?
Yep.
And then even with like Seth Rogen, he talks about, they keep their budget around 20, 30 million. I think it was Seth Rogen. He goes, I never want to do comedies over 20 million because then the studios care about it. And he goes, we don't want people from the studio coming to our set. So if we keep it at 20 million, we're off their radar. They don't care.
Interesting.
But if you start spending 80, 100, 200 million,
They're
everyone's involved. But then even Jerry Seinfeld was making a joke on the speech for Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
That I guess Seinfeld was saying, like, there's nothing more annoying than a network note. It's when you have your showrunner, your producer, the writing, directing team, like everyone's together, but the network, like NBC or ABC or someone's up with their suit.
Of course.
And got to go, you know what? We don't think this is that funny, or you need to change this. And it's called a network note, and people hate those. But after the pilot, a network note was, this show's not going to make it with just 3 doofuses talking about nothing. You need a woman. Whoa. So they cast Dreyfus, and so he introduced her as the best network note ever given.
Wow.
So she was a network note.
But she made that show.
Yeah.
You needed that female presence.
Yeah. It just balanced it. There's something about it. So today's episode is sponsored by AG1. I started taking AG1 because I wanted to add it into my wellness journey. There's 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day. I've been eating clean. I've gotten rid of those 40 pesty pounds, and I just really wanted something to take in the morning. I love that it's easy, it's delicious. You take 1 pack, pour it into some water, cold water I prefer, drink it on an empty stomach, and then you can enjoy your coffee, your breakfast, and go on with your day. This way you don't have to mess around with all these different vitamins and minerals. It's all in 1 pack. It costs less than $3 a day. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews recommended by professional athletes, trusted by leading health experts such as Tim Ferriss and Michael Gervais. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/FreddieAlyssa. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/FreddieAlyssa to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Thank you, AG1. This stuff is great. You can give it a try. Now, back to the show.
So I guess network does know.
Maybe sometimes, but people don't know until that they put it out.
So is
to the
that
world.
a primetime thing only? You never had network come to days. Not that you know of, right?
Never like on set, but I'm sure network had meetings and notes about, hey, like I'm sure the network was involved in like our storyline.
Of course.
Like a network note was probably like, hey, we should really tell a gay love story, or maybe they thought of it. Like, I don't know how it all happened, but I'm sure there are moments.
Yeah.
But something like Days is so different because it's 50 some years. And
don't you think it's kind of crazy how back in the day you had all of these sitcoms? I mean, Seinfeld, Friends, Fresh Prince. They're endless, and they were just so treasured. And I feel like sitcoms now, like, what is there? What's a new sitcom that is crushing that's going to go down in history as a
Young
classic?
Rock.
Oh.
That's not too sitcom-y, though.
No.
Like, would you even count Modern Family or Big Bang Theory was a sitcom?
Big Bang was, because I'm thinking in my head, if there's
On a
sound
stage.
stages,
Yeah.
that's sitcom. So even Young Rock, that
It's not really.
doesn't.
I wonder what they consider that. Probably just a comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, sitcom is when you're on a sound stage. You're not shooting outside.
Exactly.
Or most of it's a
Big
sound
Bang
stage.
was one, but that ended in what? Late, like 2014 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
think that was a thing of the past.
everything's also been done.
Yeah.
You know, when someone first thought rom-com, endless. But now it took an idea like this, like, ooh, divorced, now they're going to fall in love again.
Yep.
That makes sense. That's unique.
Yep.
But you know, like how many times is it like, oh, I'm going to have the dorky girler guy and make him hot and they're going to be with the jock, and or so-and-so works at either an agency, an ad agency, a PR firm. Her boss is hitting on her. She wants to have work-life balance. The guy's an F-up, but he's got a secret bet with the boys. They meet.
They're so good, though. I'll rewatch it.
It's just, you know, but you're also competing now with everything. Like back in the day on Friday, TGI Friday, you would sit down and at 7 o'clock, people were watching, I think, Home Improvement, Family Matters. That was it.
Yeah.
Seinfeld was in the golden age. I don't think someone could create a Seinfeld today. Their series finale had 70 million viewers.
Wow.
Like, how many viewers does Young Rock have right now? I think it's the biggest show on TV.
Won't show you?
Season 1 of Young Rock averaged 3 million viewers in the live plus same day ratings. So I guess that doesn't including all live stream same day viewing and DVR playback through 3 a.m. So let's just even say double that.
Right.
And say they're doing 6 million.
Still that compared
The
to
Rock,
70 million?
the biggest movie star, NBC, one of the biggest networks, biggest show on NBC, being generous that they're doing 5 million.
Wow.
But there's just a bazillion things to watch.
Well, and times are changing. People aren't all gathering around to watch one show anymore when you can sit and go through Netflix and still be like, oh, there's nothing out. I do that all the time. I'll look through Netflix and I go, there's nothing to watch. There's plenty.
Do you know what's really interesting, though, is how I could do a Golden Girls trivia. I could do a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air trivia, and I know everything. I just watched Ozark. I don't even think I can tell you what the wife's name is.
Really?
Because you just consume it in 6 hours over 2 days.
Then it's done.
And then 3 weeks later, I was like, oh yeah, was Ozark good? Let alone when the next season comes. I need the recap.
Oh, 100%. I just started Upload. Remember that Amazon show? And
Yeah.
Season 1 was really good. Season 2, I'm just getting into it, but I just forgot everything that happened. And I don't care as much about the characters because it's a year later.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, I'm giving it a shot because I really like Season 1. But sometimes it's hard. Our attention span's so different now. I've consumed so much since that first season that you're just kind of like, oh, do I care? Like even certain reality shows, I'm like, I can't even get into this.
I think I want to make a prediction. I think very soon there will not be any more, not anymore, but way less multiple season shows. I think people are going to do 10 episodes, limited series, hour each, have 10 hours, flush out all the characters, have the time, allow people to sit down in 2-3 days, watch it for 10 hours, consume it, talk about it, and it's done.
Move on.
Because, you know, coming back season after season, I don't know how many of those shows are actually working like that.
It's an interesting thought.
It's just, you just
know.
don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Or when they make these movies, loved Ray Donovan, came out the Ray Donovan movie, turned it on for 15 minutes. I was like, I don't care anymore. Blacklist. Loved it. Can't watch the new season. Walking Dead. Loved it. Can't watch the last season. Even Euphoria. I couldn't finish. I did not care to watch the season 2 finale. I don't care.
And guess what, though, with Euphoria, it takes them apparently 2 years to film these seasons, so we're not going to have the next season for 2 more years. I'm like, these characters are playing high school. They're going to be 30 by the time. I mean, what are we doing here? What do I know? I didn't create a hit television show.
No, but we're the consumer.
We are.
I think other people feel like that, where there's just so much that there's a moment in time on a Sunday that you do a 6-hour binge, and you're like, wow, thank God for Ozark. Like, what a great show. But then you're over it.
Do you ever feel, though, I feel like I have different moods. Sometimes I am going, look, I have to put on maybe an old movie that I can relax to. I can put on a television show. I really want to unplug from the world and just focus on that for escapism. But then other times, watching that is boring me so much. And I go, I want to be on TikTok, and I'll spend time on TikTok and consume. But then, I don't know, I'm just in different moods sometimes. Sometimes I want to unplug, and then sometimes I go, no, I want to see the culture. I want to see what's going on. I want to hear everyone's opinions about the Met Gala and see the dresses live and what's happening.
Yes.
You know, it's an ebb and flow. I don't know.
You have to really be in the mood to sit down and watch. I watched The Survivor, about a Holocaust survivor.
Oh,
and Ben Foster played this boxer. HBO Max. I think. Hooked. Great film. Dark.
Really?
But just informational. Just like, it was a great film.
Yeah.
But then I'm trying to watch Batman, and I don't care.
Can't get through
You know,
it.
I'm interested in like Zoe Kravitz and Rob Pattinson, and Colin Farrell plays the Penguin, but he's got makeup on, so you really can't see, you know. And I'm watching it, and I'm trying. You know, I'm just like, I just don't care. Like, you're sitting here going, they're both in costumes.
Do you think you'd care if you were in a theater and your phone was off and you go, look, I'm here for this experience?
If it was maybe better. Like the newest Spider-Man that everyone was like the best Spider-Man ever.
I didn't see
Wasn't
it.
interested. It wasn't that good.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah. And Batman I'm trying to get through, but I'm just bored with it. But then I watched Uncharted with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, and that was all right.
You know, it's so funny. All these movies I always wanted to watch, but I always see that they're $30 to purchase. Do we own them now?
I don't know. I'm real picky on it. I have to make sure that it's something I really... Oh, I'm so glad we talked about this. Do you know what was the best movie I've seen all year?
No.
I just watched it and almost forgot.
Oh, gosh. What was it?
Ambulance.
Who's that with? What's it about?
Jake Gyllenhaal
Okay.
and some other people.
Michael
Bay directed it. It's like a bank robbery hostage thing. Just pure 2 hours of entertainment.
Really?
Worth the $20 that I rented it.
So you rented it and I can't watch it now?
Because it was $25 to purchase forever.
So you rented it for 48 hours and didn't say,
Yeah.
hey, babe, get on this.
You
watch
wouldn't.
it.
You wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't?
I mean, it's not your cup of tea.
But-
But this guy has like drone footage and there's explosions and like the acting's great. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It was so good. So this is how I know I'm not being an a-hole.
There are good things out
That
there.
is that is my kind of movie. Like Uncharted, if you had doesn't even come close
Really?
to no. Ambulance was awesome.
So good. You know, I rewatched a movie from the 90s. It was my favorite growing up. I haven't seen it since I was young. And I was like, is this going to still be good? It was Can't Hardly Wait, which had literally every actor that is famous now in it back then. I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt and Seth Green, just to kind of start it off. But so many cameos of huge movie stars now that back then they were 17 and they're like, I want to do the one-liner. The movie was so good. It was such an easy watch. Now I remember why I loved it so much. But at first, I always get nervous when you go back a little far because watching a movie that was made in 98, I mean, that's a long time. A lot has changed. But I will say you really feel a different energy when you're watching a 90s movie because the actors back then were going through a different lifestyle than we are now. They weren't on their phones when they were in between, takes. They were in their trailer, probably hanging out with everyone, reading a book.
It's probably the coolest thing.
Yes, and you're enjoying it. You're excited to be there. You're not like, oh, well, what's everyone else doing? What's going on that's better? Oh, I'm at work. It was probably so exciting. And so you watch it and you just go, man, you're brought back into that time. I swear to you. And the movie was done so well. It's crazy though too to see how times have changed and jokes that like would not cut it today.
Yeah.
Again, that was a long time ago. It was the late 90s. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was one of my favorites growing up. And it was so interesting because I was halfway through this movie and I go, oh my gosh, Upload is out. I can't wait to go watch that. And I was like, well, Alyssa, you know what happens at the end of this movie? Like, just go watch Upload. You don't have to finish it. And I go, no, I'm so into it. I got to finish it. It captured me that much. So it was great. I enjoyed myself. I'm going to do some more throwbacks.
Yeah, we haven't watched anything together in the longest time. Well, because we're on different schedules.
Yeah.
But then we also like have different tastes in movies. But yeah, I mean,
I feel like for a long time, we would always compromise. And sometimes we'd watch stuff together. But even Ozark, I haven't watched the last 2 seasons, and I probably won't.
it's over.
Yeah, you
Old
know what I'm
news.
saying? That you do your little action films. I do my rom-coms, my throwbacks.
Little action films. Michael Bay.
The little
Flying
little action
drones,
film.
flipping ambulance, like helicopters crashing, guns shooting all through Los Angeles.
I said what I said.
Lived there for 15 years. Never seen. I don't know where when they shoot this.
Oh my gosh.
Broad daylight. I've never once saw in 15 years. Like you'll see little like neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Where are the high speed chases?
Maybe they do it early in the morning. Maybe they do it. I mean, the only thing I ever saw, what was the superhero movie with Will Smith and Charlize Theron?
Hancock.
Hancock. I remember going down Hollywood Boulevard one time and it was completely blocked off. And do you remember? You've seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge scene where I think there's like a bus that's just crashed. And it was just chaotic. And they had so much going on. And they were shooting like one of the biggest scenes of the movie. And I go, I've never seen that in action. I mean, you see people filming stuff, but these really big scenes.
I think I've seen Hollywood Boulevard shut down many times for the award shows.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like there's an ambulance going 100, crashing, flipping, helicopters, explosions.
Like on the 405.
Yeah. Like we've never once seen
How
that.
do they shut that down, though? Because so many people need to use that to get
They
to
must shut down
work.
a quarter of a mile, and then people are just veered off the exit to go around it and get back on. But they must do it during the lowest traffic hours, obviously.
Yeah.
But
When you were watching the movie, did you notice kind of what the day looked like, or you weren't paying attention to that?
yeah, it looked like it was like, I mean, it looked like it was earlier when it looked like it was early morning, but that's
Okay.
when everyone's going to work.
I know.
But it was all day. I mean, it was like they were being chased for the whole movie. So
That's wild. There's no way that they could like recreate that as a set, a freeway set. Could be.
not a freeway set, but maybe somewhere else.
But what if they went up to, say, Santa Clarita and there's this huge open, miles and miles long, and they just build a huge outside soundstage or something?
I don't know. That'd be something to look into. But you're right. Maybe it like just looks like it's LA,
Right.
but some of the scenes are cheated because there's a bunch of underpasses and roads. So maybe it's somewhere like in maybe somewhere a little different.
But now I'd want to watch to look for that.
I think you should watch it. It's worth another $20. It was so good. It was so good. So
All right. I'll look into
if
it.
you like action, people, check out that movie. It's really great.
Done and done.
But we want to thank you so much for stopping by the show today. We had a lot of fun catching up with you, and we'll be back here next Wednesday. So go have a great week. Happy Mother's Day this Sunday to all the mothers out there. We love and appreciate you, and we will see you next Wednesday.